Hello world, and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we are doing a pick a card reading on kind of like the direction of career and finance. So money issues, money things, money concerns. So this is a specific spread. We talk about your current energy, new sources of income, opportunities, how you'll benefit, who can help you, final advice. I'm just gonna, spoiler alert, a lot of the who can help you is you helping yourself. So that kind of came up in two of those readings, and the other one, there did a person come in. So kind of, if you want somebody to help you, you're gonna have to pick, or you're gonna have to guess which one that was. Anyway, but you know, in all of the readings, we always discuss like how you can accomplish that, how you can accomplish what you want. And it really, I mean, we can't control other people. We can only control ourselves. And even then, sometimes we know what we need to do and we're just like, Anyway, off my high horse here, or off my soapbox, whatever I'm doing, and let's look at our options. We've got, this is the 5-cent tarot for group number 1. Group number 2, this bold, bright deck, is the Luminous Void tarot. And then this is Mystic Monday's tarot. If you like to pick with objects, I'm going to be placing objects right now. We're doing eggs today. So for group number 1, is it Rhodonite? I think it's Rhodonite egg, which is this really pretty purpley, pinky egg. That's group number 1. For group number 2, this is Calcite. So this is orange Calcite for group number 2. And for group number 3, this green egg it's actually dyed. It's not naturally occurring like this, but it's still pretty anyway. It is agate. And then I like it when it's dyed, because then you get an idea, you can see like the crystals that are in here a little bit better. And then it just is very striking. So 1, 2, and 3. If you're still not sure which one to choose, I'm just gonna put my feet flat on the floor, sit up in a comfortable seat, and close my eyes. And you can do this with me. Go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and release. We're going to set the intention that you are going to receive the messages that you need to hear. Take another deep breath in and release. Just relax, be here in the moment. Go ahead and open your eyes, and wherever your eyes are drawn, that is the group for you. So thanks so much for being here with me, and I will see you at your group, which if I didn't tell you already, which I don't think I did, the timestamps for whichever group you picked, the timestamps are down below in the description, and you just click on that timestamp and it'll take you to that reading. Again, thank you for being here, and I will see you at your reading. Hey group 1, congratulations on picking Rhodonite. I don't know why I'm congratulating you, but we'll see here in a second. Let's see, current energy, group 1. We've got the Hierophant in reverse. So as it relates to your financial situation, I feel like current energy is that you might be into something like crypto, or you're looking at different side hustles, or maybe you never went to college. Or you may not even have a high school diploma, and don't worry about that. I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that in a very positive way, because that works for a lot of people. The Hierophant is kind of about the system, right? It's about like traditions and what we do day to day. And I feel like in your financial situation, or what is calling you in your career, is kind of off the beaten path, and it's not necessarily like what your grandparents would have even expected or imagined for you. Okay, so this says rebellion, doubt, and indecision. So I'm leaning more into, I mean, I probably is some doubt there, especially when you see the people around you doing something completely different than you. But you have to be your authentic self. When we come to rebellion as well, you have to really examine the things that you were told and the things that you were taught, and if that makes sense to you. Have you ever wondered why? Because I'm getting this idea of, I'm getting visions of like different diets, right? And you can, gosh, do a Google search on diets, and there's going to be 50 different ones that pop up, and you're gonna see people who all claim that that diet, even though it's radically and different than the next, worked for them, and that's the only thing that worked for them. And then you see the next person, totally different diet, the only thing that worked for them. It's because it really is not about following the masses when you are looking for success. So this is just what I'm being shown. You can make something work for you as long as it's authentic to you. You can't just follow what your neighbor is doing if you don't believe in it and have it be successful. The key here is the belief in yourself and the belief in what you're doing. And like I said, going back to kind of, you know, society says that you need to graduate from high school. And yes, that is a huge indicator of success, but I know people who, like, school was just not their thing. In fact, my brother, he only graduated high school because my mom made him, and he followed a very non-traditional career path and retired at 40 after living in Europe for years and traveling the world. So, but that's because he believed in himself. And then I'm also getting they ask you, why are you doing that? And then they ask you how you did it. So I just feel like you may not be as confident in your decisions as you really should be. And I feel like this takes a bunch of introspection to go out on your path, even if you've seen others, you know. I kind of see the Hierophant too. You know, this is finding that guru that you can learn from, that financial leader. And again, with that example I gave with the diet thing, I mean, you have to use your discernment and find out what's best for you. So even though it's not necessarily like you're trailblazing your own path because you've seen other people accomplish what you want to accomplish, doing what you want to do, that's then you seeking out. You know, seekers become finders, and finders then become their own kind of guru, their own kind of Hierophant here. So you may not have the best examples in your life right now, but don't let that deter you from finding somebody who has succeeded doing what you want to do. And the key here is your own discernment. So seek and you shall find, but you kind of have to set that compass. And that takes a lot of effort on your part to make sure you know what's right for you, and what your goals are, and what you want to achieve, and what you want to put into it. So this is about new sources of income. Where will new sources of income come from? We're looking for new sources. We have the Four of Cups. So this says contemplation, apathy, disillusion. So I kind of was getting a little bit of that with our first card here. That's why I made such a big deal about, you know, that seekers, you're going to find what you're looking for. It's interesting that the Four of Cups comes in here because a lot of times it's depicted as somebody kind of sitting there looking at here's 3 cups in front of me right now, but that are full of cactus. And you're not seeing the universe handing you something over here from the side. But this is kind of from a position of, because 4s are a number of stability. You know, your chair has 4, most chairs have 4 legs on them. That's where they're very stable. So looking at what it is that you're comfortable with, where can you stretch a little bit? So a new source is going to come from you stretching from where you are. And you may not see it at this moment, but it's only because you're not looking for it. So that's why I love this card with this Hierophant when we're talking about seekers and finders. It's coming, you have to seek it, you have to look for it. That new source is on its way, and it can be from a very unexpected place. You need to get an idea of where your comfort zone is and where you can push those boundaries of that comfort zone. It's time to do that. And then we're going to talk about opportunities to consider. And we get, what is this guy? This is the Page of Needles in reverse. So a lot of cards in reverse, I feel like they're more in reverse here just because there's something a little bit off about your situation. Just because I think part of it is that you're blocking yourself in the ideas that are coming in. I think that you have something come in and you're like, oh, you know, there's a little bit of fear here. There's a little bit of apprehension that you need to work through. It's interesting that you have the Four of Cups next to this Page of Needles, because the Four of Cups is sitting there in contemplation, and then the Page of Needles is, so this is haste, dishonor, all talk. Obviously, we want to do something to change those negative views of it. But it is, I think, kind of like telling you, okay, patience, steady, allow an idea to develop. I think that you know, the Page of Needles is the suit of ideas. It is the suit of like there's just almost like a stream of conscious coming into your mind when you're thinking about, you know, opportunities, ways to make money, things to do with your career, where to invest, what to spend it on. I think you have like almost this rapid fire of ideas, and it's telling you to take a moment to contemplate those things before you act on it. Okay. But eventually you do need to act. We don't want to sit here in contemplation the whole time, but allow things to come in with the intention of acting. But think it through, because you're going to be the one who is the guide here. How will this opportunity benefit you? So if we're watching for this opportunity, ooh, look at this, King of Needles. So yeah, the Page of Needles kind of indicates that you're not, I feel like you're going into a situation you don't fully, you haven't been living the situation. You don't have like a lot of great examples about what you want to do. And this might be like you want to be a stock trader, but nobody in your family has ever done that. So before you buy the first stock just because you're like, ooh, that's a good idea, contemplate it, look at it, pros and cons, ups and downs, what's the best of everything, because there's going to be a lot of discovery here. The upside of all of this is the King of Needles. This is who you are becoming. You are becoming this person who is in control of their thoughts. This person who then, once they fully develop and bake that thought, that they go out and act on it in the best way possible. Total control of the situation. Very entrepreneurial spirit here. Very much, very leadership. Notice, I love that this is so it's the King of Needles. So kings are in control. This is a swordfish, like the king of the domain. Swordfish are very majestic too. But the King of Needles, or the King of Swords, usually always has these butterflies on there too. It's because you have become something new. That's why I feel like that this Hierophant is in reverse on here, because you are the one becoming that leader. I think you might put the steps together of what you do and like the end goal being, like you start here not knowing anything about it, but you have this idea, but you really want to do it and you're very drawn to it. Then you discover, do, and at the very end of it, you might actually be somebody designing courses on it. You might actually be somebody who writes a book about it or does YouTube videos on it. You might be that guru that you have been searching for, because the energy is here. It's just putting in basically really the thought behind it. And I'm just going to pull a card for who can help you. So far we have been like, that you could search out somebody to help you, that you are a finder. And we have the 7 of Cups. So there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of wishful thinking. This almost reminds me of the example that I was giving you with the diets. Like once you set that intention of needing to find somebody to help you or a direction to go, you're going to be very bombarded. So be careful. You're going to be very bombarded with things. This is, and I spoke about discernment at the very beginning. So this is where you use your discernment, because you might be in a position right now where you're feeling like, oh gosh, I don't see any possible way to live my dreams. But once you start putting some thought into it and some contemplation behind it and looking for possibilities, like it's going to come in, like it's going to come in huge for you as to, well, what about this? Or what about this? Or this person says this. So your discernment is what's really important. And I think that's kind of why you need to step up here in being your own guru. Is you might take a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, a little bit from column C. There's going to be a lot of trial and error. Just understand that, don't get overwhelmed by the possibilities. Just look into them, start doing them, and don't be afraid if something doesn't work out. You're going to learn from it, and it's not, maybe it won't pay off immediately, but like I said, I feel like at the end of this journey, you're going to be the guru of this. So you'll not only know what to do, but what not to do. So just understand that there's going to be some trial and error in here. And the King of Needles, I feel like, is somebody, they have been through every single card of the suit. The kings have. They've been there, they've done that, they've experienced it, and they've grown from it. And this suit of needles is brutal. So that key, and I'm not saying that to discourage you. I'm saying that because every single obstacle that you come across and everything that you do is really an opportunity for you to grow. And then final advice, what do your guides have to tell you about your money situation, career situation? Final advice, 2 of buttons. Buttons, I love that we're getting buttons here, because buttons is money. Buttons is material things. Buttons is pentacles. The 2 of buttons is about balancing things. It came in reverse. So I just think you need to watch out about being overwhelmed. Watch out about being overcommitted. And don't be afraid, again, like to let something go if it's not working out for you. I feel like your guides want you to know that you have a lot of potential here, that this is huge learning opportunity. There's a lot of balance that needs to come in. And again, like I told you, that keeps coming up in here is, don't get overwhelmed. And discernment is very key. So we're just gonna pull one of these cards for you, see what flies out. This is just another final advice. My career is one of creating a joyful life experience. So don't forget that this is supposed to be fun as well. If your dominant intent is to feel joy while you are doing work, Your triad of intentions, freedom, growth, and joy will come quickly and easily into alignment. See your career as one of creating a joyful life experience. You are not a creator of things or a regurgitator of what someone else has created or a gatherer of stuff. You are a creator, and the subject of your creation is your joyful life experience. That is your mission, that is your quest, and that is why you're here. So don't get overwhelmed. This is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be a growth experience. And I feel like this could be very, very positive for you, even if you're coming into this and you're like, oh, I don't know about this. There's going to be obstacles. It's going to feel overwhelming. I'm sorry. But it's a lot about self-discovery, and it's a lot about finding that joy in what you're doing and not being concerned about what other people are doing. So that is what I have for you, Group 1. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2. So this is the orange calcite group, or this deck, which is Luminous Void Tarot. I had to look at the box. It is such a beautiful and striking and graphic deck, and I feel like it takes it's very bold, so it takes somebody who is very bold to want to work with it. Let's see, current energy for you. I'm just gonna this one, just hold on, I'm just gonna shuffle it one time. Here. And then we're going to cut the deck. I've got my eyes closed, and we're just going to pull from here. This is how we're going to work with this one. Your current energy, we have 2 of Cups. So your current energy, you might be in a really great job where usually the 2 of Cups is about a relationship, but it can be about like a partnership as well. And since this is a reading about career, this looks like a really good partnership about going back and forth, learning things from each other. So don't discount that. You're not alone. And I don't know if you are feeling like you're not putting enough into the situation. Maybe you're relying too much on your partner, and that's why you're here. And I just want you to, like, your partner isn't able to do what they do without you. And I don't know if that's, for some of you, I feel like your partner is your life partner, and maybe you're looking, they might be the breadwinner and you're looking for something to do on your own. Or this might be your, a work partnership that is just working out really well. I think a lot of times we feel like when we're in a partnership like this and you really appreciate the person that you're working with, and that you kind of discount yourself. And I'm kind of getting that. And I want you to know that your person, whether this be a work partnership or your life partner, can't do what they do without you. So you may be putting them on a pedestal, but you are more, even if you feel like you're a muse for them, like you are way more than that. They couldn't do what they do without you. So let's look at maybe new sources of income. We have 8 of Pentacles or 8 of Discs reversed. So I'm really getting that a lot of you are kind of like maybe stay-at-home moms, stay-at-home dads, maybe in between jobs, really kind of relying on somebody else. A new source of income. Again, I'm not even sure that because 8 of Pentacles is about crafting your skills here. If you've been out of the workforce for a while, you might need to and you're looking to get in there, you might dip your toe in and figure out, I still think that a lot of your skills are going to translate. if you've been out. And you might just start looking at things that are posted. You might be questioning though things that you can do part-time or at home. I don't feel like you need to, maybe you feel like you need to jump into the workforce, but I'm just telling you, like, to be valued, or you feel like you need to be valued by making some money here. You might look at opportunities that just were not available the last time that you had a job or that you were working. And what I mean by that is a lot of things are work from home now. Things have changed. Yeah, so just look at things that just were not, like DoorDash, or I'm not saying do that, but I'm just saying, like, that was something that when I was in the workforce, that wasn't even a thing, and now it is. So don't feel like, a lot of times we step off that carousel, right? And it keeps moving, and it keeps moving without us, and we feel like we have been left behind, because I'm kind of getting that feeling here with the 8 of discs reverse. I understand that, I'm feeling that from you, but I don't feel like it's a legitimate concern, okay? I feel like it's something that, yes, you can put some energy towards, but it's not something that is going to necessarily hold you back. So opportunities to consider, and we get the Ace of Swords. I feel like there's going to be some opportunities coming in for you once you decide to dip your toe in that water. There's going to be a communication. You need to set the intention out there that that's what you want. And Ace of Swords is great because it is about communication. It is about ideas. Right now, I feel like there's a little bit things that you're stuck on. And whether that is because you're stuck on something that your partner's doing and you want to do something separate from them, that might be what's holding you back over here. Okay, so really, I think just through the course of our conversation here and the course of the cards that we're pulling and the things that we're talking about and you're being asked to consider, I feel like there's a shift happening as we're speaking. And I feel like you don't undervalue yourself. I also feel like with the 2 of Cups here that you so many times in a working relationship, in working relationships, we put up with a lot of toxic garbage that we would never put up with in a romantic relationship. So I feel like that is something that you need to consider and look for. Make sure we teach people how to treat us. So make sure that you're putting boundaries in place and you are making sure that other people understand that they aren't devaluing you. And I feel like there's a little bit of participation, or you're just taking it and allowing that. I think that you have some really amazing skills and some really amazing skill sets that are kind of being buried right now and that aren't being utilized. And it's not and you're just kind of accepting it, and it's time to not accept that any longer. It's time to really put your standards into place. How will you benefit? We get the 2 of Lovers. Look at that. Yeah, so I'm glad that this is then the 2 of Lovers, 2 of Cups and 2 of Lovers. Really interesting that we have that in here, because both of these cards are very, like, is what you would want and what you would look for in relationship readings. So I feel like your work environment and who you're working with is really important to you, and it should be. And I feel like once you start valuing yourself, and like I said, with those boundaries and following through with it, I feel like walking more confidently, and not being in a, moving past being in a framework of fear and lack is going to level you up. I often see the Lover's card. The Lover's card usually has Adam and Eve on it. And it can talk about romantic love, but what it really is, when you examine the Adam and Eve story, it's actually a level up in consciousness. So I see it as a leveling up. And I know the Bible describes it and depicts it a little bit differently. Like you're in the Garden of Eden and you get kicked out. When you look at your own life, like the Garden of Eden is kind of like when you're a child and all of your wants and needs and desires are taken care of for you. And then you like have this realization that, oh wow, somebody else has been paying the bills this whole time. And now I need to start paying the bills. Or, oh, the world has shifted and this is the way that it really is. And yeah, they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, but then what did they do? They went to work and they built their own skills and they built their own, to survive. They had to have their survival skills. Well, everything wasn't just given to them. There's also like a certain kind of sacrifice that kind of has to happen because they realize that time is marching on and time is passing. So you have to set goals. You have to set your sails. I'm getting this idea of like, if you are in a boat adrift in the ocean, if you never point your boat in any direction, you're just kind of at the whims of the ocean. You need to figure out what's going to guide you and where you want to steer this boat. And then you start that's a level up there. Instead of allowing the universe to just do whatever with you and you react, you're saying, no, I understand there's going to be challenges, but I'm going to overcome these challenges, and this is what I want to do, and this is where I'm going. So I really feel with your career and finances that, if you're not feeling like you're in the best place right now, that you're feeling down about things just because, everybody is feeling down about things. So you're not alone there, but it's more of an individual thing than needs to be reality. And the things that are manifesting into reality is based on how you are feeling about it. And it's time to pick yourself up and go out and get what you want and start to value yourself a little bit more. Let's see, who can help you? And we get the King of Discs. So I love that the King of Discs is here. First of all, we want to see Pentacles here in a reading like this. This is the material. This is money coming in. The King of Discs, somebody who has some money, somebody who sees your potential. Divine Masculine doesn't have to be male, but the King of Discs is somebody who knows, who's been through so many things. They could be a business leader, an entrepreneur. Somebody can help you here. It is about realizing your own worth, and then it's recognized by others. So could be a potential earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but somebody who is very practical, somebody who kind of gives that, again, it doesn't have to be a male, but almost like that father figure, and maybe who owns their own business. And then final advice, and I'm just going to pull a card here from the middle. We get 9 of Wands. Yeah, so there's a lot of energy in this reading about you fighting things, and it's time to end that. It's time to end. It's a lot about your own mindset, and you don't have to show up to every conflict or fight that you're invited to. And it's time to step up and recognize your worth and follow your passions, because I kind of feel like things might be lost a little bit for you, especially in this kind of Two of Cups energy, where you may have been putting things towards that other partner, putting time and resources, and it might be time to kind of gather up and think about what it is that you want, and how you can proceed, and how you can, I don't want to say reinvent yourself, but how you can follow your bliss. And I don't want to say bliss necessarily, but you know, I feel like there's a very emotional component here that is very tied to the financial situation. I'm just going to pull one more card here. I am a vibrational being in a vibrational universe. You live in a pulsating, vibrating universe of advanced harmonics. Everything that exists in your air, in your dirt, in your water, and in your bodies is vibration and motion, and all of it is managed by the powerful law of attraction. There is nothing that exists outside of this vibrational nature. And as you learn to accept your vibrational nature and begin to consciously utilize the Lovers here, come into consciousness, come into realizing that you are the one who can move and change and do things, that you're not at somebody else's whim. Okay, so consciously utilize your vibrational indicators. You will gain conscious control over your personal creations and the outcomes of your life experience. So I feel like this is all about coming out of, because look at this Nine of Wands here. She's like coming out of the forest. She's like rediscovering something new, and this something new is herself. Don't be afraid of incoming new communication. That's what this Ace of Swords is. That's what this new spark of information that comes in for you. Don't be afraid of getting out of your comfort zone. I feel like that comfort zone thing kind of came in group 1 as well. And your worth is going to be recognized by others when you recognize it yourself. So that is what I have for you, group 2. I hope that this has been helpful to kind of move you out of, you know, in this Two of Cups, like there's nothing wrong with in a relationship as long as you are both, you know, agree that one person take the financial burden of it. But I feel like you're really kind of itching to get out and do something on your own. And it is definitely possible. Is just getting over this kind of, because you've probably, I kind of feel like you're in a rut a little bit. And it's getting out of that rut and really discovering yourself. And it's not easy. It's in the middle of, you're going to ask yourself, like, why the heck am I doing this? But it is a journey that you're absolutely capable of. This Lovers card is, you know, when I'm saying that you're leveling up here, you're leveling up your life, you're leveling up your career. This is all about you getting that courage to go out there and do what it is that you want to do. There's a ton of potential here for you, and you are not going to be the only one who sees it. There's going to be other people who see that potential in you and who want to work with you. So that is what I have for you, group 2. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, green. Hello, green. Hello, group 3. I was just thinking how pretty this green agate egg is. And then we, of course, have the Mystic Monday tarot here. And we're going to ask some questions about finances. So current financial situation we have, and this kind of came out upside down and reverse, and so looks like you might be not really quite happy with where you are and thinking about walking away, but you've been going back and forth on that. And I say that just by the way that this kind of bounced out. 8 of Cups is a situation where you're kind of turning your back on it. You're not really happy with it, and you're thinking about walking away and following your intuition. It can be scary, but and the place where you're at right now, it fit a need at one point. So a lot of times you kind of feel guilty about walking away because we've changed, things have changed, and it's like, you know, I used to love being here. I used to love this job. I used to love, you know, this used to fit all my needs, but it just, there's something that is agitating me, and it just is not my dream anymore. And that's what we have with the Eight of Cups. It feels like it's not really your dream anymore, and you're, you know, it's not fulfilling your wishes. Because the very next card in this particular suit is the Nine of Cups, which is the wish card, and it's getting anything and everything that you want. So it means that in this particular situation, we're thinking like, this isn't what I want anymore, and I'm ready to walk away. New sources of income. So where will new sources of income come from? And we get this flipping out pretty strongly. And we have Judgment. And Judgment is a major arcana card. Judgment is related to balance. It's related to Libra. This can be talking a little bit, because I'm getting like timing, like time frame between now and like October, November time frame of you finding what you want. I think there's going to be some obstacles in the way, of course, but it's something that you can definitely see coming, and you can see around, and you can accomplish. I feel like, you know, you might be in a situation where you're feeling you aren't being treated correctly. You aren't being treated well. You're not being treated right, where at one point you kind of were. And I feel like that is going to be, that wrong is going to be righted, because you do choose this path. You do choose the path of justice. They talk about justice being blind, but justice sees everything. I kind of feel like there's an element of karma a little bit. So it doesn't, you know, I kind of, a lot of times we feel like, oh, I can take all this abuse or this, because, you know, the ups and the downs, but it's more about you learning what you want to do and what you're willing to take. So I feel like there are some boundaries that need to be in place. And I feel like there's a little bit of a leveling up on your part. That's kind of came in, level up, kind of came in group 2 as well. But I feel like on your part, it's just like, you know, our ego wants to keep us in the spot that we're in because we're used to it, like the devil we know versus the devil we don't know. And it's just agitating to the point where you do need to move and do something different. And that is, it's possible for you. It's coming in for you. It will look like a situation that looks balanced, that feels good, that is intellectually stimulating. Opportunities. So opportunities, and we have 2 cards that come out right away. Opportunities to consider. Look at this card with the 9 of Wands again, where we've got our back turned. And you don't have to show up to every fight that you're invited to. I feel like you might be shutting down opportunities that are coming your way without even like a glance. I kind of feel like that's how you are. But I think that as we're moving through here and discussing it, I think that mindset is shifting. Because I almost feel like you feel hopeless. And the reason I'm saying that is we've got the Star in reverse, but the Star is about hope. The Star is about beauty. I feel like, you know, we've got the 9 of Wands and this 8 of Cups here. You're holding on to something that you really need to let go of. I feel like for a lot of you, you know what that is. For others, you know, but you don't want to think about it. You don't want to contemplate it. So just sit with it for a second. I feel like you need to sit with the things that need to be released. And a lot of times it's like an emotional release that needs to happen. A lot of times it was like, I joined this company and I thought this, and this was all going to happen, and it never did. And we still kind of sit here waiting for it to happen. And employers, managers, they hold up golden carrots in front of us and they tell us, yes, well, if you only do this, then I will give you this, and you accomplish that. Well, but you need to do this too, and you accomplish that. Well, so if you are getting those types of excuses, if you are getting those types, it's because you're stuck where you are. You're so entrenched in what's going on at the moment. You're stuck on, this could have been great. You're stuck on, like, but you're the one who's been putting in the effort. That effort hasn't been being, your efforts have been, your effort hasn't been appreciated, and your efforts have been used by others to make themselves look good. And that kind of puts us in a downward spiral a little bit. And I feel like you have some beautiful and great opportunities out there. I mean, look, we have got Judgment and we've got the Star here. The Star is like my favorite card. The Star itself is also about balance. The Star is about balancing our emotions. And you might have this feeling that a job that you like doing or a career that you like and feels fulfilling doesn't pay much. I kind of feel like you have a toxic belief about that we need to deal with, that you need to deal with. Either we can release that because we're having this conversation now, either we need to uncover it and release it because you're going to go back to something that your third grade teacher told you that you need to let go. Either you need to sit with it and meditate with that. Maybe you logically understand that, but you don't feel it in your heart. You have to deal with it both in your head and your heart. There's something here that's holding you back, and it's you that's holding you back, okay? It's beliefs that are holding you back that you need to let go. And look at this. I told you there's going to be on this path that we're going here. In your new source of income, there's going to be some complications. Well, here's the complication. You think you'll be happier over here, and you don't, but then you're like second guessing yourself. Like, look at these two images. The path is clear. Follow your heart. Don't let your mind invent obstacles that just aren't there. Gosh, well, I was listening to somebody, and he was only 25 years old, and he was talking about how he just overcame. He said that there's, we have no operating manual. We don't have an operating manual. This is all intuitive. We don't know what we're supposed to do in life. I mean, a lot of people claim they do. They don't. A lot of times we get into business with people. A lot of times we work with people because we look at their vision and it's attractive, and we're like, yeah, I could follow their vision. It's time to find your own vision. And the poignant thing that he said is, he said at 22, he realized, hey, nobody knows what's going on, so why don't I just do what I want? And he did, and he's successful. I mean, we're all going to die. What's going to happen? What's worst going to happen? I'm going to die anyway. So I kind of feel like you need that little pep talk here. Look at this. We get the Queen of Cups, and then we get the Empress. Love the Empress here. So once we clear that negativity, we have a lot of just beautiful abundance coming in here. The Eight of Cups I kind of see as like, oh, the grass is greener on the other side, and we're having the courage to push through and find that. I love that you have the Star here, even if it's in reverse. I feel like we're in transition a little bit here, group 3, and I feel like you need to find yourself. It's interesting that we get another Cups card. I think I was spot on when I was telling you that you need to reconcile that idea about your something that is fulfilling, something that makes you happy to do. It pays you. It's going to pay you. The Queen of Cups is also somebody who's very creative. It's finding your creativity and using that and pushing that forward. And then the Empress is abundance. I think self-love is the first thing that needs to come in here. However, I feel like you have a lot of love to give in your chosen career. I think you're somebody who, and you deserve to be paid for that. You deserve compensation for that. Of course, you know, you're going to give love freely anyway, because I feel like you're that type of person, that big heart. Follow that intuition, follow that heart, but you might have to put some boundaries in place, like, yeah, but I am worth this, I deserve this, I need to be paid this, because we all have bills, we all need to feed our families, you need to feed yourself, and you need to appreciate your skill. There are a lot of people who are not as skillful, who are not as loving, who are not as good at what they do, who make a lot more money than you. So there should be no guilt around what you're making, what you're doing, and you know, do it freely. It is also an exchange of energy. You get the energy back, and just thinking of money as energy that you put in. You deserve to be paid for the energy that you put in. Who can help you? We get the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups reverse. Interesting. This kind of came out for, I think group 1 got the Seven of Cups in this instance. Once you start seeking, you're going to have some opportunities come up. I feel like your opportunity is going to be clear though. It's going to open up. The Seven of Cups can kind of be an illusion of opportunities, or can kind of be confusing with opportunities. I feel like you embracing this Empress energy, embracing this Queen of Cups energy, this following your heart, this believing in yourself, this believing in abundance, that follow that intuition. Once you release this negativity, once you release these boundaries that you're holding yourself back, you might have to put yourself out there. You might have to get a little bit of courage in there, but once you start believing in yourself, I think you'll have that courage. The path for you is going to be clear. It's going to be illuminated. And then something that your guides want you to know. What do your guides want you to know? We get the Two of Swords. So that's interesting. I'm laughing because, the Seven of Cups can kind of be like a bunch of decisions that we're not really sure what to make. And then the Two of Swords is like, kind of like, it's usually like the swords crossed over your heart. She's holding swords kind of over her heart, and it's like a head and heart decision, getting your head and your heart together in a decision. So I think you have a lot of decisions to make, even if right now you feel like you don't. And this is all about following your heart. Why? Because the Two of Swords, even though it is a card about thinking and ideas and what's rattling around in your head, it's getting that heart, and I think I even spoke about that, clearing the information in your heart and dealing it with your head. So your logical side and your emotional side, getting them together here. I think the Judgment card is kind of a very logical side, and it's very logical to be paid what you're worth, even if emotionally that can kind of conflict with that. You have to get those things together. You have to move forward. You have to get those ideas together for yourself to move forward. I just want to hype you up a little bit here, is that you're absolutely worth every penny of every thing that you're asking for, looking for. And abundance is for you. It's coming in for you, but it's about the decisions that you're making, and that you're making decisions that are not only logical but emotionally sound for yourself. And I'm just gonna pull one of these guys. This is Law of Attraction cards, and I can transform my own world. And she's holding a world here. I love that she's holding it kind of in front of her gut, kind of that gut feeling and following your intuition. Make lists of positive aspect. Make lists of things you love and never complain about anything. And as you use those things that shine bright and make you feel good as your excuse to give your attention and be who you are. You will tune to who you are, and the world will begin to transform before your eyes. It is not your job to transform the world for others. And I think you might get a little bit stuck on that. I think that might be holding you back, because I bet that the person that you work for, has maybe not everybody has a toxic work relationship, but I feel like a lot of you are thinking about moving away from your current work situation because you're being emotionally blackmailed a little bit. Like, you want to help others and you feel like you are helping others, but I feel like it's almost not like a narcissistic relationship where they just give you enough to keep you moving forward in your job with them, and that they just give you enough accolades, but they're not, like, you're not getting what you really and truly and totally deserve. So it's not your job to transform the world for others, but it is your job to transform it for you. A state of appreciation and pure connection to source where there is no perception of lack. So I feel like you have a lack in your current situation just because I feel like you're doing something for others that you're not being appreciated for, and you're not being compensated for. Now, this movement, because I think that a lot of you know where you want to go, where you want to, you're thinking about stepping up and walking away. You might give your current situation the opportunity to keep you, but you have to let them know what your boundaries are, and you're kind of like your line in the sand, and like, hey, listen, I'm not really that happy in this position. I feel like I'm not being compensated for what I want, and allow them to make it right for you. I would also have a backup plan if you do that. I feel like you're going to land on your feet, or really kind of land sitting comfortably as this Queen of Cups is and this Empress is. But there's definitely all of these readings, there's gonna be some work that you have to put into your situation. So that's what I have for you, Group 3. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thanks so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading.